Hi, everybody. This is Kim with Getting Bolder, and I'm here to spread just a little more joy and sunshine with a follow up video called Five More Men That You Don't Need. My first video about men that women over 60 should steer clear of was super popular. And by popular, I don't mean everybody liked it. I mean, it got a lot of attention and a lot of comments. Women seem to like it, men, not so much. And I'll be honest, I'm not actively trying to piss off old men, but in my defense, it's very easy to do. And I'm certainly not implying that everything I'm saying about men can't be true for women too. We have got our own foibles to beat the band. And so if there's male YouTubers out there who are making lists of 5 types of women to avoid, drop into my comments and I'll help you come up with some things because women can be doozies too. But I am a woman talking to other women who are vibrant seniors. And so when I talk about types of people to avoid, I'm going to be mostly talking about men. So I pulled these additional 5 out of the comments because a lot of women chimed in with gentlemen that they also didn't find particularly gentlemanly. So here are 5 more types of guys that you might want to avoid. The first type is a guy who really wants to dominate your time. In fact, he specifically wants to pull you away from friends and family. And I do have to say, this is trickier for both men and women as we get older. When you meet originally and you find your partners and you're in your early 20s, it is pretty easy to merge. Nobody has a family except for their parents, and odds are you're trying to get away from them. There's not any money on the table. Nobody has a place that they live. Nobody has a job that they really care that much about. They don't have children. It's easy to just kind of merge your assets because guess what? You don't have any. When people meet in their 60s and 70s, I think it can be much trickier to merge their lives. And it's never really a total merge. It looks more like a Venn diagram because, yeah, you've got, odds are, your own investments, your own place that you live, your own family, your own way of doing things, and so does he. So when a guy comes charging in, it's basically like, I'm here 40 years later than expected, but I'm here on the white horse. Drop everything and follow me. It's hard to do. And it's an unrealistic thing for men to expect women to do. One of the guys that responded in the last video was kind of like, well, women don't have any time because they're worried about their dog and their best friend and their best friend's dog. And he's right. I do worry a fair amount about my best friend's dog. But that's just another way of saying we have full active lives. We have a complex ecosystem that we have developed, and it's hard to walk away from. So when a man is overly dominating, like I know a guy who he actually has a great job and he travels and he's looking for a woman who can travel with him at a moment's notice. And that sounds like a great thing, but he actually got angry at his present girlfriend because she wanted to be in town when her grandchild was born. That's not realistic to think at this age anybody, male or female, can completely abandon their existing life in order to accommodate yours. So that's guy number 1. The second type of guy is a guy who expects you to delete something about yourself. There's something that he thinks you'd be better off without it. He wants you to stop saying it, stop doing it, improve it in some way. But the really heartbreaking thing about this is that not what the guys say or do, it's that women really collude in their own destruction. We can rush in the presence of certain men and want to delete things about ourselves. We volunteer to be less than if that makes us more acceptable, and that's on us. So I found one of the comments was incredibly heartbreaking where a woman had said she had started to say something on my thread about women who enjoy being alone and who find men optional. And she wrote it 2 or 3 times, but she kept reading the comments that men were leaving and she kept deleting it. And she's like, these guys are deleting me. And I'm like, no, to be honest, you're deleting yourself because you don't want to displease these guys, even though they're strangers on the internet. So watch out for him. But more importantly, watch out for what you do to yourself when you're in the presence of one of these guys. The third type of guy is looking for a straight up 1950s sitcom division of labor and gender roles. He wants a trad wife, even though everybody's grown up now. Um, I don't know, what would you call us? What would you call an older woman who takes on a traditional role and waits on a man-handed foot? Are we a granny trad? Or are we a trad hag? I don't know what we are, but he wants one. He wants a woman who's going to basically cook and clean and wait on him. And what I think is really kind of crappy about that later in life is, I guess the one good thing about traditional gender roles is the man was expected to hold up his end of the bargain by earning the living for the whole family. And these guys usually don't want to support you. They just assume that you'll be the one who cooks dinner for them and compliments them all the time and kind of, is very enthusiastically appreciative of absolutely everything all the time. It can be pretty exhausting. I think a lot of the guys that want women to follow these very traditional, submissive, not appreciative. We all should be appreciative, hyper appreciative, almost worshipful qualities. Frequently, they kind of Venn diagram time again. They kind of intersect with the passport bros. Do you know what the passport bros are? They're guys that are getting passports specifically so they can go to usually the Far East or South America, Central America, and find a woman in kind of a desperate situation and bring her back here. And she'll be very submissive and she'll be very appreciative, and she will gladly cook and clean and accommodate his every whim in every room of the house, kitchen to bedroom. And that's sad. It happens a lot. It's a very real thing. It seems to be happening more. They blame what they're doing on feminism, and they say these women are feminine, but that's not real femininity. It's so sad for the women. They wouldn't be in these situations usually if they had an alternative. And to tell you the truth, it's sad for the men too. I mean, I hate to be the one to say this, but if money changes hands before sex, there's a possibility she doesn't really love you guys. So it's sad on both sides of these equations, but I don't know. In the short run, it makes the guys feel really powerful to get their passport and go women shopping in Honduras or something. So if you see a guy that starts talking about traditional gender roles and pushes them really hard, Ozzie and Harriet's been off the air for a long time. And the fourth kind, and I was interested because several women wrote about this specifically, is the guy who love bombs you. He shows up and gives you like the full court press. It's just overwhelming. It's too much. He calls all the time. He shows up unannounced. He really wants to dominate your time. And if you don't respond appropriately in the time frame that he deems the correct one, he'll just move on and start love bombing someone else. I think the hardest thing about these guys is they honestly don't believe that women can be happy alone. And since I've started this channel, I've met tons of women that are saying all the time, I was happily married, my husband died, or, I had X, Y, and Z types of relationships or no relationships, but I am super happy on my own as an older person. And these guys don't believe that. They don't think it exists. They think any woman without a man is lonely or bitter, or, she's got 17 cats, or, they buy into every cliche. Where actually, I think a lot of women do swell on their own as they age. So if you try to tell him, thanks, but I really am happier single, he's not going to hear that. There's a kind of an obliviousness to the love bomber and kind of a shallow insincerity too. So you don't need him either. Sorry, love bomber, because they can be kind of charming. The fifth kind of guy is a man who cannot laugh at himself. In fact, he's got a chip on his shoulder the size of Texas. And I think we all, male and female, really need to be able to laugh at ourselves as we get old. You know how you always hear that cliche, old age is not for sissies? I don't know if I believe that. I'm a total sissy, and I seem to be doing great at old age. I kind of like being old. But old age is definitely not for people who don't have a sense of humor. You have to, as things start breaking and falling apart, and your memory is just for shit, you have to have the ability to laugh at yourself, or it can be a really grim ride. So I think a man who cannot muster a sense of humor about the aging process in himself and in you is going to be a really hard person to live with, a really hard person to grow old with. So those are the 5 kind. Again, women can suck too. So ease up on me, guys, as you glance at your phone before you get on the plane to Honduras to get a real woman. Women can screw up too, but these are just 5 kinds of guys that I think actually might make your life worse and not better, ladies. And that is really something to consider as we get older. Nobody needs the aggravation, frankly, neither us nor them. So I think that I am a feminine person. Did I mention I'm on my way to waltz? But being feminine doesn't mean that you will accept any load of crap that a guy comes up with. And I honestly want more out of my life than the opportunity to be useful to a man. So, however you feel on the spectrum, keep writing those comments. I find them interesting and fascinating. And I'm not going to go 5 more types of guys, but I am available for consultation if any men want to respond with crappy types of women that men should avoid. Talk to you soon. It's waltz time.